Hi, I'm Todd DeRocher, and welcome to part 3 of our Network Integrator series. As utilities go through the transformation to a network integrator, they need to adopt their strategic planning cycle. They need to incorporate things like advanced scenario planning, where they include scenarios both within and external to their utility model and to the way they've traditionally done it. They also need to incorporate more players and more groups into this planning by going deeper in their organization, as well as expanding out to other industry leaders in other markets as well as other countries. They also need to incorporate measures and KPIs into this, not just about the strategic measures of how they're obtaining or attaining their strategy, but also looking at the market as a whole to see if the pace of change is what they expected, or if it's going faster or slower based on regulatory pressure, based on other technology trends or other external factors.
So as we see utilities go through this planning exercise and pushing down business strategy into their target operating models, one of the questions that we're getting asked is, how do we do this across the enterprise? We're seeing utilities take that strategic plan, turn it into an operating model, but not just focused on core operations or the traditional poles and wires business. We're seeing that strategic vision being pushed down all the way into the back office functions such as IT, HR, procurement, supply chain, so that all areas across the enterprise are aligned to that common business strategy.
The focus of the network integrator model, in my mind, is really specific to becoming the hub of the network. Now, while traditional utilities and regulated utilities were the hub of their network, it was a network where they owned and operated all of the assets and where their customers received power from them. As we see this transform, we now see where customers are contributing through distributed generation power onto the network, where new products and services companies are offering their products to customers of the utility, and where the communication process has changed through smart metering and smart grid. So in the future, what we see is that the network integrator / utility becomes the distribution system operator, where they become the hub not only of the power distribution and of the network operations, but also where they become the hub of communications, data, as well as support and outage management. Further, we see that their focus and how they operate becomes much more operationally aligned in a network where there are more people and more communication and more parties at the table. So in a traditional outage, we would have seen a utility operate the outage, talk to their people, bring in crews with everyone operating within the utility confines. In the future, with the various products and services and technologies like distributed generation, in the future like storage, what we'll see is that the utility will need to bring together partners and other participants to control the outage, as well as to ensure safety for all workers working on the outage.
As utilities invest in asset and infrastructure improvements in order to evolve to the network integrator model, significant investment in capital expenditures are likely, and therefore a new model to pay for these investments is required. One of the things that we see as a potential change in the network integrator model is a change in rate structures, moving away from a consumption-based rate structure for customers to more of a connection fee or access fee charge to make sure that all of these capital costs are able to be recovered. All of this requires a renewed focus on operational excellence and execution. So improvements and investments in things like work and asset management, customer experience, systems, and other operational technologies will enable utilities to further their evolution towards the network integrator model. This will allow them to continue to meet increasing customer demands, satisfy shareholder and stakeholder demands, and continue to adapt and respond to an increasingly disruptive market.